Three can keep a secret if two of them are dead. Have You Seen Me seamlessly picks up where Gossip Girl leaves off, but with more sex, more lies, and more dead bodies a la How to Get Away with Murder and You. When a coveted member of a group of entitled yet ambitious 20-somethings goes missing, their deadly secret is threatened to be exposed. But the real question is, who will be next? Read Have You Seen Me by creator Candy Washington on Amazon Kindle Vella, or listen and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Candy Shop. And today we are going to be talking about the third part of the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion. We're going to get into it. Season 2 is now a complete wrap. I think they're probably already filming season 3. So we can get into the third part of the reunion. Was 3 parts even needed? I'm not sure. I think we probably could have done without part 2 and just have done part 1 and 3. Like for the content is what I'm saying. So as you guys come in, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share with a friend, because a key is always better with community. And as people come into the room, don't forget that there are so many fun goodies in the description box below. We have our love collection of sweatshirts, hoodies, t-shirts, dresses, candles, mugs, all that fun stuff. And don't forget to enjoy my series called Have You Seen Me? You can listen to it and you can read it. It's all linked below, and there's more podcasts, books, and movies and all that good stuff. So don't forget to check out the description box for some really cool stuff. So just wanted to, remind you guys as everyone comes into the room, and be sure to drop those candy canes as you come in. All right, so let's get into it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it, you guys. So the first thing I wanted to say is, you guys know I stan Lisa Barlow. However, she did not need to try and justify her rant, which to me was epic, and I loved everything about it, by saying like, oh, Meredith, like I heard you said that you thought my house was ugly or my renovation was ugly. No, ma'am. Lisa, I love you. Whether or not you heard that, which I'm kind of squinting now because I probably don't think you did, but I totally love you. It didn't make any sense. It didn't track. So Lisa, you can miss me with that. But I think that there were so many aha moments in the reunion if you really watched. One, I think Andy is so dirty. He was really trying to jam up Jyn and, as we call him here on the Candy Shop, Coordinator Shaw. Did you guys peep that? Did you peep that? Because I'm gonna expose where he was really trying to trip them up, which could have really big negative legal ramifications for, particularly for Coach Shaw or Coordinator Shaw. Again, I'm not a lawyer. This is just fun speculation for a good kiki. Hello, Vodka Love. How are you? Hey, Vodka says hello, love. Hey, sweetheart. That's right, you guys. As you come in, say hi. Drop your candy canes, put them in the chat box, and let's get into it. Let's first dive into Seth and Meredith. The whole time Seth was on the show, when the husbands came in and before then, my main thought was just like, shut up, Seth. Like, shut up. Seth is super creepy. Him being obsessed with Whitney's cleavage, I thought it went completely overboard and was bizarre to me, and I didn't like it, and I think the whole world was just, like, cringing. Secondly, when Seth was like, oh, when someone says sorry and you give them a second chance, you're just giving them another bullet because they missed the first time. Seth, shut up. Lisa Barlow told no lies. Like, you guys don't own your house, allegedly, I think. And you do change your job every 5 minutes. That's the whole reason why you were, like, in Oregon. Now you're in Mississippi. And then you're at all these other places. Like, I'm not saying you don't have a job, you do. But a part of your job is moving all of the time. Like, you literally you were a big, FaceTime during the reunion because you were literally in Mississippi. And on the show, you admitted that you and Meredith spend less than 60 to 70% of your time together. So you're only actually with your family maybe 30% of the time. And I think that's being generous. So, like, what's the issue? But I did like the way that he responded to Andy's question when he was just like, oh, how did you feel about Lisa's rant? And he was just like, he basically dodged it, and then he was just like, we've all been friends forever, and I hope we can get back on a good track. So that I did like. Okay, so let's see the other part. I also thought Seth, along with Meredith, really was doing a united front just to save their spot on the show. And they both had these crocodile tears. When Seth got up there being like, my wife she played through the pain, all of that stuff, I was like, miss me with that, Seth. Nothing but these absolute crocodile tears. And that's pretty much the only thing I have to say about Seth and Meredith. So now let's get into the more meatier stuff, the more meatier nitty gritty of the stuff, okay? Where I thought, and I'm gonna need to change the headline to this because here's one of my conspiracy theories, you guys. I thought Andy was so dirty because did you notice that when Coach Shaw, or Coordinator Shaw, as we say here in the candy shop, came on the show, Andy was trying to get, and I don't know if I want to give Andy the benefit of the doubt with this, but it was so obvious to me and so dirty to me, and I want you guys to tell me what you think. I thought this was actually really, really dirty. Actually, wait, let me take a step back. Rock with me with this. Rock with me with this, okay? The viewer question that set all this stuff up was, how come Coordinator Shaw doesn't get the same smoke and energy that Erica Girardi gets? Basically saying, Tom Girardi, this is of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, is alleged, I'll just keep saying alleged, you guys, alleged, having defrauded all of these people and stole clients' money, and there's real victims, and we're all going after Erica being like, you knew, you profited, like you're wrong too. But on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, it's true, Coach Shaw, Coordinator Shaw, doesn't get that smoke. We pretty much revere Coach Shaw. We revere Coordinator Shaw. He's not getting the smoke, even though it's clearly obvious, in my opinion, allegedly, if, Jyn is found guilty, he knew what she was doing was fraudulent. He knew it was wrong. And he also profited from her fraudulent activities, and there are real victims, allegedly, right? So how come he gets a pass? Like, how come, we're not going as hard for Coordinator Shaw as we go as hard for Erica if they are both married to fraudulent, corrupt people who have victimized people, and then they have profited from that. They have that lifestyle and that money from those fraudulent money. So I actually really understand that correlation. I think it again goes back to what I talk about a lot here, likability factor. Erica is not a likable person. Coordinator Shaw is likable. It's a likability factor at the end of the day. It's just, is this person likable or not? In my opinion, I think I hold the same opinion of both couples. I think both couples knew the fraud was going on. I think both couples knew that there were victims. I think both couples profited from the fraud. That's my opinion. Allegedly. No one come after me. That's just my opinion based on everything. I think Coach Shaw knew. I think Erica knew. I think Tom is guilty. I think Jyn is guilty. This is my opinion. Allegedly. I'm not stating a fact. I'm just stating my opinion. Okay. But where I think Andy was really dirty and how it could come back to really, I think Coach Shaw played it very well. But if Coach Shaw had slipped up, it could have come back to get Coach Shaw in trouble. And let me know if you noticed this, and I'll tell you guys. So when Andy was questioning Coach Shaw about the timeline of when he knew Jyn was being arrested, the timeline of when he knew that the feds were coming from Jyn, and whether or not he contacted Jyn to give her the heads up that the feds were on their way to get her. Do you guys remember that? To me, that was very, very dirty, because if for any reason Coordinator Shaw, his story did not align with whatever story he is telling the feds can then go pull that tape and being like, well, on the reunion, because as we all know, especially with the Erica Girardi case, these feds are pulling all of the Bravo footage, all of it, all of it. Bravo is also cooperating and giving over all of the footage, aired or unaired, all of the footage. So if Andy is able to get Coach Shaw, Coordinator Shaw, to lock into a timeline of when he found out and whether or not he gave Jyn the heads up, because that's aiding and abetting. So if Coordinator Shaw had admitted to Andy, yeah, I knew the feds were coming, and yeah, I called Jyn and gave her a heads up, that could be aiding and abetting. Do I think the feds would actually want to go after Coach Shaw for that? No, but would they use it to manipulate and as a tactic to get Coach Shaw to maybe roll on his wife? Yes. If you don't tell us what you know or this, that, and the third, we're going to go after you with these charges. You're telling us this timeline, but over here on Bravo, you gave them a different timeline. So now we've caught you in a lie. You see what I'm saying? And I thought that was really slick and very, very dirty of Andy. Do I want to give Andy the benefit of the doubt that he was unaware of what he was doing could come back to really not even Jyn, but Coach? Because he would have been the one. Like, this is the thing. If I know the feds are coming for you and I call and I give you a heads up, I could be now implicated as aiding and abetting or hindering the process or whatever it's called. Like, I could get in trouble for that because I'm not supposed to insert myself in a federal thing and give you the heads up so you can now go skip town or whatever, right? So if Andy had gotten Coordinator Shaw to lock in saying, this is when I knew the feds were coming and this is me giving my wife the heads up, that would implicate Coach Shaw. Luckily, Coordinator Shaw was smart enough not to admit that. He did lock in a timeline, but within the timeline, he didn't admit to giving her the heads up. In my opinion, do I think he gave her the heads up? Yes. Or at least someone on the team did. Someone gave her the heads up. Someone did. Let me put it that way. Someone did. All I can say is when Coordinator Shaw was like, I was with my assistant. When anytime somebody says I'm with my assistant, I always think that means you're actually with your secret lover or your mistress or whatever. You know what I mean? Because he was like, I was with my assistant and I had rectal bleeding at the hospital. I was like, what? What? Who? Coach Shaw. Okay, let me see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Hey, everybody. Hey, Miss T. Miss T says, hello, Candy and all the candy canes. Hey, sweetheart, how are you? Missy says, Coordinator Shaw didn't go on social media and put it in our faces. True. Very true. Very, very true. Hey, Miss T. Coach Shaw also didn't make up crazy stories about snow and cliffs, but he did make up, I mean, again, alleged. I think he did make up the story about rectal bleeding. But again, that's so far-fetched. Like, who would be on a show talking about rectal bleeding unless it was true? I mean, I don't know. Miss T, he's a lawyer, so he knows what to say. Exactly. Hey, Miss T, Jyn and Coach didn't explain the brain bleeding story. Lies. Yeah. Hey, Vodka. Wait, Coach Shaw is a lawyer? He is a lawyer, but he's not a practicing lawyer. And this is, again, another thing that makes you kind of squint because Coach Shaw was a successful practicing lawyer. And then the very same year that Jyn got this job that she's now going to court for, he stopped practicing law. I don't believe in coincidences. I think that was probably very, very deliberate. You know what I'm saying? Hey, beautiful Sunny T. She says, hey, Candy the Candy Canes. I don't watch well Salt Lake City, but I'm here for your review. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you. Hey, beauty, yes. Oh, you guys, later today, we'll be reviewing Candy and the Gang. So yes, we'll be reviewing that later today. But I thought that was really slick and shady on Andy's part because if Coordinator Shaw had slipped up, the feds could then go say, oh, so you admit it on the show that you gave your wife the heads up. Oh, well, you told us you found out at this time, but on the show you said this time. So I didn't like the fact that Andy kept trying to lock him into a timeline. And I thought that was really dirty and really slick. What And I'm surprised I didn't notice this before, but I thought Jyn brought up a really good point about Whitney. I mean, we all know I'm not team Whitney or team Heather. Both of them can dismiss me. Whitney's voice is so grating on me, and Heather, ugh, the same. But and I'm not voice shaming or anything. It's just ugh. Anyway, I thought Jyn brought up a really good point when she was saying that, oh, like, Whitney, you never even talked to me about my business. You have no idea what my business is, but yet you went on and you gave this whole like explanation about, fraudulent mailing and, going after people. But yet I could have said, well, maybe the reason why you're, dumping all this alleged money into your Iris and Beau, into your Wild Boy skincare, is because your husband has his own legal battles. Like, your husband was also, sued for I think it was like a pyramid scheme or some type of marketing scheme or whatever. And when Jyn said that, that to me was like a light bulb moment. And that would explain something. Again, this is just a fun conspiracy theory, just a kiki, just my opinion. This is all alleged, no facts, no facts, no facts. To be very clear, it's just for fun. But that was a light bulb moment for me. And it would explain something. Rock with me on this. I always thought it was really bizarre, like very, very bizarre and off, that there was zero animosity. I mean, zero, between Whitney and her husband when Whitney allegedly lost hundreds of thousands of dollars on her skincare line. I still don't know where to buy it. I still don't know where it lives. I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure it's great, whatever. But there was zero tension, zero anything. And I'm sorry, unless you are a bawling multi-millionaire, and even then sometimes people still get salty about this stuff. If your wife, in my mind, and based on what she said, squanders the majority of your life savings when you are 20 years older than her, you have at least 4 children, and you have zero animosity. I mean, even when they talked about it, it was even more almost like a staged conversation. Like, now it's time to talk about the money. Now, blah, 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 blah. I mean, zero? I don't care how in love you are. If that happens, there has to be some type of friction, but there was none. So now I'm squinting and being like, maybe Jyn is onto something. Maybe this whole story about how much money she lost or put into creating this new company, buying out her partner. Maybe there is something shady going on with their finances and their businesses. Maybe there is some sort of front, because Erica Girardi and Tom Girardi did the same exact thing, right? Remember how it all came out? Again, I'll just say alleged because I don't remember all the exact details, but all of the stuff is out there. But remember how Tom would put money in Erica's Pretty Mess LLC shell company, and that was the way that they were washing money and laundering money and just like hiding money and moving money, and they were doing all this like fraudulent tax stuff, was through her alleged, Pretty Mess company. Oh, I spend, 40 grand on glam a month or whatever the heck she was saying. Like, I don't know how it works, but I know that people do create these companies, and then that's how they sort of like wash money or launder money, or they do tax. I don't know. They do all the fraudulent, white collar criminal stuff. I don't know. And that's when I was just like, you know what? Jyn might be onto something here. Jyn really might be onto something here. And that would explain why it feels more like Whitney and her husband are in cahoots when it comes to the alleged money that they lost and her alleged skincare brand. I mean, I'm sure it's wonderful and great. I'm not going to personally buy it. But maybe that explains it. And let me know what you guys think. If you're watching on the replay, comment down. If you're watching live, put it in the chat box. Let me know what you think, because it always struck me as really bizarre. And I don't care how in love you are. I could be completely in love with my partner. You squander hundreds of thousands of dollars of our life savings and you're 20 years older or younger or whatever the heck is, and we got some kids, you're damn right I'm pissed. Do I still love you? Yes. Can we weather the storm? Of course. But am I pissed? Absolutely. But there was zero animosity. Zero. Zero. Now I'm squinting at you guys. What's her husband? Whitney's name? Husband John? Is that his name? I forgot what his name. No, it's John Barlow. What's Whitney's husband's name? Anyway, him. Justin. Now I'm squinting and I'm being like, what is Wild Rose Skincare an actual front for? Because he explained the way the lawsuit, the marketing scheme, it was like a company, I think he still works for the company, but he was like no longer named in it and all this stuff or whatever, but it's just like still out there and floating. What is the front for? And also, Whitney knew a little too much about fraudulent lead generation and fraudulent ways to manipulate and extort at-risk segments, like the elderly and things like that. She knew too much, and she knew it too quickly. And I'm sorry, Whitney, I'm not being mean or rude, but like, I don't think you sat out there on the bus, on the Sprinter, and took out your little Nancy Drew glasses and read the entire deposition and was just like, now I totally understand reading this deposition. Now let me tell you in layman's terms what this means. No, you did not sit on the Sprinter reading the deposition. You were on the Sprinter reading Us Weekly post and the Shade Room post when it all came out about Jyn. You weren't reading the deposition, because how would you have access to that quickly? That doesn't make sense. So Whitney, in my opinion, you're lying. You knew the scam, in my opinion, because you probably are a scammer. Again, this is just me riffing. This is all alleged, all my opinion, nothing factually based. Allegedly. This is me riffing right now. Because you knew it too quickly and you knew too much about it. And you knew. Your husband himself has been sued, or at least implicated in a lawsuit for pyramid schemes and marketing schemes and all of that stuff. And the fact that your husband has literally zero animosity for you, allegedly losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the two of you seem like you're in it together, now I'm squinting at your business. Because a lot of times, the people who are quick to point the finger, which Whitney has been, and she got up there on that stage and lied. Whitney had been trashing Jyn in her business for both seasons. How does she get her money? How does she have this lifestyle? I don't understand her business. Where does it come from? I'm confused. Oh, she must have a sugar daddy. But when Lisa and Meredith have their lifestyles, they have designer clothes, they have everything. Nobody ever comes after Lisa and Meredith for their money. Well, except for Lisa and her rant, but that's a complete sidebar. So I did get Jyn's point where it was a double standard. Jyn has a opulent lifestyle. Oh, I don't get it. I'm confused. Where does it come from? It must be because she's pimping herself out, even though she's married with children. So Whitney, to me, is just so disrespectful. And I think a lot of times the people with the most to hide point the finger first. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying in here. Hey, Sunny T. I'll also be driving soon, so can't chat, but love you all. We love you too, beauty. We love you too. Hey, Baka, totally agree about bad weather. Yes, absolutely. Hey, it's Quazia. Hey, Candy Canes. Hey, sweetheart. How are you? Tuki says, I'm late. No, you right on time, sweetheart. She goes, this week he got fired from that company. I think it's sketchy. See? Yes, it is sketchy. It is sketchy. I'm sure he got fired because he opened his mouth too much. And now they're coming up under more scrutiny. Miss T, Whitney is the best investment. Exactly. Whitney is an investment because she will do your dirty work and do all your stuff. And to me, somebody calling her the best investment, that's like you bought her. So who really has, you know what, Whitney, that's what I'm saying. The most people doing the dirt are the first ones to point the fingers. You're saying Jyn must have a sugar daddy. Well, then what is your husband? Because he called you an investment. So, and where did you get all this money that you squandered? It was his money. So who really has the sugar daddy? And at least Coordinator Shaw and Jyn are around the same age. I'm not age shaming anybody. I don't care if you are married or dating someone who's 5 years, 10 years, as long as it's like an adult, you know what I mean? I don't care about that. I'm just shading Whitney. I'm not shading it in general. I'm shading Whitney. You see what I'm saying? Like, your husband's 20 years older than you. You're squandering all of his money, and he actually called you an investment. You invest in a relationship, but to call a person a investment means you bought them. Just like he bought your boobs that Seth likes. Ooh. Hey, Velda. Hey, sweetheart. What's up, sweetheart? How are you? What's going on? Okay, so let's get into it. But let me know what you guys think about that conspiracy theory. Okay, what else happened? I love John Barlow. We all know that. Dewey and Jenny, to me, I'll talk about them very quickly, but they both can miss me with everything, all their storylines. Now, knowing everything we know about Jenny, I'm really happy she's gone. And Dewey, to me, just seemed, like I just want results. And that's why I said sister wife, because I'm just about results. So you're viewing having another child as a result. To me, I took this two ways. One, Dewey is either just really emotionally stunted and lacks a lot of emotional intelligence and is still stuck in trauma and grief over the unfortunate passing away of his baby daughter. And I think that's truly traumatic, and I'm not poking fun at that at all. That I honor and have so much compassion for. So he is either A, truly still stuck in that and just cannot navigate his own emotional scale. And that's why he's talking about, I just want results. So let's get a sister wife and all this other stuff. I'm happy he said he was going to therapy, though. That was good. On the other hand, and I'm not referring to the death of their child because I'm not going to speak on that. That is sacred, and I'm so sorry for their loss. That is sacred, not talking about that. Or this whole sister wife thing was just a fake storyline plot. I think it's both. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. Do I think that Dewey and probably Jenny as well both have unresolved trauma from the death of their daughter? Yes. Do I think that going to therapy would help both of them? Yes. I'm happy that. So I think that is true. Do I think the sister wife storyline is true? No. I think that part was made up. I think that was a fake storyline. I think that was just weird drama that they wanted to bring on the show to try and make themselves more interesting. So I think it's both. I think that they probably do need the therapy to work through the pain and trauma of losing their baby. Do I think the sister wife storyline was true? No. It falls flat. It doesn't track. And I think it was, and I think even Jenny's niece came out on like TikTok or something and like tried to put her on blast and was like, no, that's completely lie. That's a fake storyline. So do I think that, I think that they are still going through grief. Do I think the sister wife storyline was right? No, I think that was a lie. I think that was totally made up. Hey, Miss T, I fast forwarded their part. You can skip over Beavis and Butthead if you want. Yeah, I know. They missed me with that. Velda, the way he's going about grieving, demanding another child is beyond insensitive. Yeah, super beyond insensitive. That's why, again, I think it's sort of like I squint if that's true or not. You know what I mean? So let's see what else happened on there. Lisa Barlow hugging Whitney and what's her name? Heather, the other one. Ugh. Did you guys notice? It's sick. At this point, it's beyond even like a kiki. It's sick. When Lisa went over to the couch, and let me know if you guys caught this. When she was hugging Heather, and Whitney was there too, and Whitney was just like, "Do I get a hug? Do I get a hug? Is this like?" She said it like 5 times. It was so bizarre to me. Whitney, you're a grown woman. And you were literally sitting there begging another grown woman for a hug because she was hugging Heather. Like, this is beyond, like, this is to me is actually sick. And this is my true opinion on this. It's a little sick at this point. Like, at first it seemed like Heather and Whitney had this thing against Lisa. It was sort of this like, mean girl, jealousy, we weren't the cool kids, you were the cool girl, so now we're gonna come after you, and blah 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 blah. But the more it goes on and on, the more sick it actually is. Like the way they just gang up, the way Whitney was watching Lisa on her phone before they went into the reunion was weird. Just the whole thing, like going after Lisa's friends with like Angie and like the fake trying to take her down, and literally Heather said, I want you to be ugly with. She's like, I want to be in the ugly with you. I want to be something like that with Lisa. And Lisa's just like, what? Like, leave me alone. Get off my jock. It's sick at this point. Like to the point where it's hard to watch type sick. Like literally Whitney was like, do I get a hug? It was just like, you literally sat there for the last 3 hours tearing this woman apart. And now you're literally sitting here begging for her to pay attention to you. Because that's what the whole thing is about. Her attention. It's so bizarre. And then when she does give them attention, they are so insecure in themselves. They think, oh, she can't just want to hang out with me. She can't just be inviting me to this event because of me. She must have an ulterior motive because I'm not enough. It's sick. It's bizarre and it's really sick to watch. It really, really is. Let's see. And Heather being the bulldog, it's too much. It's way too much. Like she needs to just like stop. Exactly. Hey Velda, she's laughing at Tookie. Hey Tookie, nah, Lisa didn't hug Whitney. Whitney begged for that hug. She did. And all the guys are laughing. Hey Velda, Lisa should have responded, no, you don't get what I'm sorry. I wouldn't go 6 feet near Whitney or Heather for that matter. It's like we have to socially distance, literally like 6 feet. Keep it moving, keep it pushing. It's way too much. So what else happened during the reunion, you guys? What else? Whitney is so thirsty. Can I get a hug? Oh, Heather was so bothered that Lisa still loved herself through the storm. And that is what really triggered. Remember, she was like, I was just so tricked. She was like, I came to the reunion and I thought that Lisa was just going to be so like apologetic and so demure and just so down and blah, blah, blah. But you came on here and you were blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, Heather thought she had broken Lisa. She thought she brought Lisa to the place of self-hate the way she hates herself. Because in my opinion, allegedly, thank you, Velda, for the super sticker. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, thank you, sweetheart. Because in my opinion, allegedly, I think the root of the insecurity of both Heather and Whitney is a lack of self-love. They don't like themselves. They don't find value in themselves. And the fact that Heather said, I was triggered because Lisa came on the reunion and basically still had self-esteem. She said she still loved herself. She came on and she defended herself and she did not back down like a real boss does. Lisa came, and even Lisa said it to Meredith. She goes, listen, I'm really sorry. I know I'm not breaking down because I'm holding it together. And I was like, yes, queen, because that is what you do. When people continuously come at you, you don't have to bow down to them. You don't have to cower to them. You don't have to not be in your own confidence and in your own sense of self to make other people feel better about not liking themselves. And that's exactly what Heather said. She said, I was triggered because you came out here like confident. She thought she had broken Lisa Barlow. It's going to take more than you, Heather and Whitney, to break Lisa Barlow. Let me tell you that. And I wonder if they will get into Whitney's and Justin's finances. Because I think Jen brought up a really good point. What is the deal with all of this alleged money being washed and laundered from Iris and Beau to Wild Rose? And the whole thing about what she spent was like their savings for a cabin or something that Justin said. I call BS on that. I call BS on it. I don't think that Whitney allegedly squandered money that they happened to be saving up for cabin, because during the entire season, Whitney said multiple times she lost their savings. She never said, I lost the cabin fund. I lost the money we were saving up for some miraculous cabin. That's a BS story. Calling BS on that. I think conspiracy. I think Jyn was right. I think that there is something fraudulent. There's a fly in the milk when it comes to Justin's businesses and their finances and not companies. And maybe this whole Wild Rose skincare is a really good front, a really good shell company, a really good place where they can, quote unquote, legally lose money or legally move money or whatever it is. You know, I don't understand how these white collar crimes work. But yeah, I definitely think that. Thank you, Velda, for the super sticker. And what else? I think that was it for this one, you guys. We did it. That was it for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I'm going to tune in for season 3. I'm going to give it a chance. But I can't really stand Heather. I can't really stand Whitney. I still don't like the way they did Mary. I'm going to see if they're going to hold Jyn accountable for, because there's like real victims out there, allegedly. There's like real victims, you know what I mean? So I'm happy Jenny's gone. There's 2 new housewives coming in. Meredith, I don't really care. She doesn't really do anything for me. Hey, Natoski, I side-eyed her when she mouthed out every detail of Jyn's crimes like she was checking for personal reasons. Yes, Natoski, exactly. That's exactly what I said earlier. When Whitney was on that Sprinter and she basically gave her college dissertation on, fraudulent male generation leads or whatever the heck they were doing, I was just like, you knew that too well and you knew it too quickly for you to not have done it yourself. And again, this is alleged, my opinion, but I don't think anyone is able to explain in such clear ways how to do something unless they have the experience of doing it themselves. And I also think Whitney was lying when she said that she was on the Sprinter reading is it called a deposition? Is that what that's called? She was like, oh, I was reading the deposition. No, you weren't, Babu. How did you get the federal deposition on your iPhone when Jyn hadn't even been at that particular moment, was literally on the lam? She wasn't even arrested yet. How did she get access to the deposition? That doesn't make any sense. So Whitney was lying. She knew all of that stuff because she has, I think, in my opinion, experience with it. I am squinting. I'm side-eyeing Whitney and Justin now. Because again, I think the people who are the quickest to point the finger are usually the ones who are hiding the most themselves. 100%. Well, there you have it, guys. That was the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reading part 3. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel because later today we'll be reviewing Kandi and the Gang episode 1 and 2. I have some thoughts. We're going to get into it. So be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share with a friend because a kiki is always better with community. And don't forget, in the description box, we have so many goodies. We have podcasts, we have books, we have movies, we have merch, t-shirts, hoodies, mugs, candles. We got it all going on. If you're into self-love, self-care, and manifestation, I have a great podcast for that. I also have a great course for that as well. So it's all linked below. So there's a lot going on over here. So grab some goodies. There's some freebies in there. And get your glow up on. Get your shine on. Oh, it's all good. Hey, Natoski says, and didn't he get fired from his recent gig? Yes! We were just saying that this week Justin got fired. Okay, you guys know I don't believe in coincidences, but I do believe in conspiracies, okay? I don't think it's a coincidence that the reunion part 3 aired on Sunday. He was questioned about the company, questioned about the lawsuit, questioned about the marketing scheme, questioned about all of that. And then now this week, he's miraculously let go. I don't believe in coincidences. I think something came out or something was said or just something during that reunion that triggered or sparked him getting fired. And I'll say that because the allegations regarding the lawsuit and the marketing scheme, all of that stuff against the company he worked on, that has been public. That has been in the public eye. That's why they even asked it. So if he hadn't been fired previously for it all coming out, for being on the show, for putting the company under scrutiny in the public eye, speculation, if he hadn't been fired previously, then why is he being fired now? You know what I mean? And I'm gonna and it's like I said, when Jen said, "Oh, well then, like, how come you have Iris and Bo? How come you have Wild Rose? Blah 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 blah, and all the money stuff." That to me was another light bulb moment. I was like, you know what? That makes sense because Justin to me was too laxed when it came to Whitney allegedly squandering their savings. I don't care how in love you are. I don't care. Somebody squanders your life savings. There has to be some type of humanity in there where there's some type of friction, some type of drama, some type of conflict. You can work through it. I'm not saying you have to get divorced. I'm not saying you have to hate the person. You can work through it. But there has to be that moment of actual conflict. And I never really saw that. I think they fronted with the whole conversations like, "Oh, Justin, do you not believe in me? Blah, blah, blah." That to me was just a big front. There was no truth to that. There was no realness to that to me. It was just a very scripted conversation. It was like, we need to get these key messaging out, blah, 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 blah. So who knows? Dang, I was late. It was okay. There are no quints on TV in these TV games. Exactly. Hey, Nataski, he was giving his shady company too much heat. Yep, 100%. Gotta let him go. Gotta let him go. Okay, you guys, this was fun, and I will see you guys later today for Candy in the Gang. So be sure to subscribe and share and share this with friends, Cookie Key, and check out everything below. There's lots going on there, so treat yourself. Mwah. I love you, Candy Canes. Until next time, be well. Oh, hey, Sunshine. Ooh, Sunshine says he lied at the reunion saying it wasn't their actual saving, just for a lake or something. The lies. Yes. I'm not sure if you heard what I said. I said the same exact thing. He said it was for like a lake house or like a cabin. And I was just like, you're lying. You're lying, Justin. You're lying. First of all, during the show, there was never mention of, oh, Whitney lost the cabin fund. Whitney lost the lake house savings. Whitney lost the retirement home account. No, it was always she squandered their life savings. She squandered their savings, hundreds of dollars. That was a lie. Straight up lie. I think a lot of them got up there on that stage and lied. Heather, to me, can miss me with everything. Like, literally, to me, there's something really nasty and cuckoo going on there with Heather. And I'm not calling anybody crazy because I never want to shame anybody's mental health state. So I'm not calling anybody crazy. But I think she has, like, some single white female cuckoo stuff going on there. Yay, Vola says bye. Yay, that is exactly. Hey, Sunshine. She says, sorry, I'm late to the live video. I have to watch replay. Oh, it's all good, sweetheart. All good. Thank you for coming, sweetie. Jessica's can't stand Heather. Cannot stand Heather. Can't stand her because to me, Heather is the type of person who hates herself so much. And she said it on the show. Remember, she said that she was triggered when Lisa came on the reunion and Lisa was still happy and strong and loving herself and was still confident in defending herself and she wasn't bowing down to them. Heather to me is the type of person who she hates herself so much that she gets pleasure in making other people hate themselves as much as she hates herself. And she even said it when she said to Lisa, I want to be in the ugly with you. That is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. If anybody says to me, I want to be in the ugly with you, miss me. Blocked, alt, delete, see ya. unfollow, mute, bye-bye. I don't want to be in the ugly with myself. I damn sure don't want to be in the ugly with you. Heather was so bothered that Lisa allowed herself to make a mistake. She said it. She said, the rant was wrong. She apologized for it. She was like, I'm human and I'm not perfect. You guys all expect me to be perfect, but I'm not. And I still love myself. Now, that is what a boss bee does. You say, I am human. I had a human reaction. I lost my stuff. I went off. I made a mistake. I'm sorry. But I still love myself and I'm still confident in myself. That is how you're supposed to be. You're supposed to allow yourself to be human. You're not, Lisa never said she was perfect. Lisa never said that what she did wasn't right. She said she went on the rant. She said she was wrong. She said she had a lot of pent up stuff. She said she lost it. She said she reached a breaking point. We're all human beings. I know I have in the past got to the point where I had just went the F off because I'm a human being. I'm a person. Who hasn't gotten to the point where you just pop off? But it's saying I'm a human being. I made a mistake. I got to this level. I was in my feelings and I popped off. It doesn't mean you have to then continuously hate yourself and beat yourself up and not be confident in yourself. You just say, you know what? I got to the breaking point. I got pissed off and I popped off and I'm sorry. And then keep it pushing. All of those women on that stage have done the same. Jyn has gone off on all of them. So has Heather. So has Whitney. So has all of them. They've all popped off. All of them has popped off. It's insane. It's literally, it's nuts. It's nuts to me. Hey, Sunshine, they all lied about finances, I think. I think so too. I think so too. I think they've all lied about finances. I think they've all lied about finances. I think they've all lied about their businesses, their properties. I think they've all lied about their relationships, except for I don't think Lisa and John have lied about their relationship. I don't think. I really hope not. They seem pretty, John to me seems pretty steady. But I think the rest of them, I think Coordinator Shaw, I stand by my conspiracy with him. I think he plays nice guy so well. I think he plays the nice guy so well. But in my opinion, A, I think he totally knew what Jyn was doing. B, I think he has this alleged I was my assistant, aka side piece, aka the person I'm really in love with, on the side. And B, I think the moment Jyn goes to prison, he's going to take all the money that he's helped to hide and he's going to go live his best life with his real bae. That's my conspiracy theory, you guys. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think Coordinator Shaw really is playing the long game. And because I think he plays the nice guy so well, he gets the likability factor that an Erica Jane doesn't get. Because Coach Shaw is respectful. He's not on Instagram. He's never been on Instagram or wherever, flaunting all the money. Even on the show, he never flaunted it the way Erica did. He seems very humble. He's playing this role of like, I believe my wife. I support my wife. I had no idea. What are you talking about? He plays that very well. So he's not getting the same amount of smoke and heat that like a Erica Girardi is getting because there's no arrogance to him. But I pick up vibes. Do I think there's an arrogance to Coach Shaw? No. But I do think there's an undercurrent of, I think he thinks he's the smartest one in the room. And I think he has played Jyn. And I think he has always had a bigger picture in mind. That's what I think Coach Shaw. Sorry, you guys. Excuse me. I think Coach Shaw has always had a bigger picture in mind. But the whole like, babe, like we're living in our biggest expense. We're gonna have to, downsize to fight this battle. We're fighting the federal government. Like that's a like blah blah blah. No, Andy, I've never once doubted my wife. Jen works so hard, and like you know what I mean. Like he has that down. But when I look at him and when he talks, he's just on the cusp of smirking. And if you go back and watch him, he is always on the cusp of a smirk. And that is why I really believe, in my opinion, in my conspiracy theory, I think he had no problem with Jen doing her alleged fraudulent activity. I think he probably has a really nice nest egg. And I think he probably has someone on the side that he is actually really with. And he's going to go live his best life. That's what I really think about Coach Shaw. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Hey, Atoski, Jyn said in court documents that the show is all lies. I wouldn't be surprised with that. I would not be surprised. That's the thing when you admit you're wrong, you de-weaponize it. Exactly. And that's why Heather and Whitney are so bothered. Because Heather and Whitney, as much as they don't love themselves, they can never be wrong. And they come up with all this BS. Hey, Sunshine. Heather hates the fact that Lisa loves herself and is sad. Exactly. Heather doesn't want to work on herself. That's exactly correct. Heather hates herself so much. The fact that Lisa loves herself bothers her. She says it. I'm triggered. I want to be in the ugly with you. All of this stuff. It's just like, no. Like, I don't want to be in ugly with anybody. I don't think so. Not today, boo-boo. Not today. And honestly, I said this before, but I'll say it again. What's really solidified it with me when it came to Heather being really nasty is the way she treated her mother on the season finale during her father's memorial. Her mother showed up at the father's memorial that Heather was throwing. And Heather, instead of going to her mother, hugging, ideally off camera, because it seemed like the mother wasn't comfortable being on camera. And that's okay. Everyone's not built for reality TV. Like, I'm personally not built for reality TV. I wouldn't want to be on reality TV, but I would love to produce it, but I don't want to be on it. Instead of going over to her mother and being like, thank you for coming, thank you for showing up, mommy. Like, I love that you're here. Like, let's, grieve together and move this as a family. She sat her nasty, evil self in that weird chair on the lawn and talked so much crap about her mother on camera. Well, why did she even bother showing up? Oh, she doesn't even come over here? Well, she just came up to like make a scene just to disrupt. Well, yeah, well, how come all of you guys are still accepted, but I'm not? Like, she was so, like, the vitriol she had for her mother during her father's memorial, it's like your mother showed up. Your mother showed up. She was there to show up for you, for her husband who passed away, for the rest of her children and family that were there. And you didn't even go talk to your own mother during your father's memorial, but yet you sat there and talked so much dirt about your mother on camera. That right there was just like, no wonder you treat other people so disgusting, and no wonder you hate yourself so much. You have the audacity to sit up there and say those things about your own mother. And you said it on camera, so what do you say off of camera? That, to me, that's when I was just like, Heather, you really are nasty. Like, you're really nasty and you're a real piece of work. I don't care what your relationship is with your... Think about Mia from Real Housewives of Potomac. Think about how strained Mia's relationship was with her mother. And Mia never once got on that show and talked as nasty and as evil about her mother the way Heather did. I don't care what my relationship with my mother looked like. I would never get on national television and dog her out like that. It was just so nasty. Just so nasty. Hey, Tasky, I wish Leisha would call the others out more. Me too. Me too. I hope Lisa gets a better strategy when it comes to Heather and Whitney. Like, don't ever trust them, girl. Don't ever trust them. Hey, Sunshine, I like Lisa and John's relationship. It's super cute. Me too. Hey, Sunshine, I think Coach is low-key controlling. Yes, I agree. Nataski, I could have sworn Jyn admitted on an after show it was an FBI agent on the phone. Oop. Girl. Sunshine, I agree with the conspiracy theory for Coach because I almost fell out of it. LOL. Sunshine, bless you. Thank you, sweetheart. Hey, Tusky, what did it for me was how she treated her siblings, especially her brother. It was cold-blooded. It was so cold-blooded and nasty. He said, I know you. Hey, Young Rich, she goes, I know you love Lisa Barlow, but the real races of Salt Lake City reunion sneaked on my TV, and it was kind of glad they got Miss Lisa together. No. I love Lisa. If you can trance your mother, you can trash anybody. Exactly. That's right. So good to see you, Young Rich. Okay, you guys, we're really getting out of here this time. Mwah, I love you. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and share with a friend because a key is always better with the community. Don't forget to check out everything in the description box. You have podcasts, movies, books, t-shirts, candles, courses. We have it all. So check it out down there. It is just so much fun going everything that's going on in the description box, guys. We have a ton of stuff. So go treat yourself. I love you guys. And don't forget to come back. We will be doing Candy and the Gang later today. So with that, I love you. Take care of yourself and each other.
3 can keep a secret if 2 of them are dead. Have You Seen Me seamlessly picks up where Gossip Girl leaves off, but with more sex, more lies, and more dead bodies a la How to Get Away with Murder and You. When a coveted member of a group of entitled yet ambitious 20-somethings goes missing, their deadly secret is threatened to be exposed. But the real question is, who will be next? Read Have You Seen Me by creator Candy Washington on Amazon Kindle Vella or listen and subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts.